So let's get started. Hello and welcome to this training on how to start creating a consistent income with your handmade business. I am so happy to have you there and share this information with you. It is my passion to help you stop feeling guilty for charging for your products and learn how to sell without that ick or gross or grimy feeling. So let's dive in. There we go. So this is all about creating consistent sales in your handmade business without feeling guilty. No guilt, no stress, no wondering if you're doing the right thing. We are going in with this full confidence here. So before we get started, as you're watching this, I would love for you to DM me on Instagram at Business by Design and send me the message saying selling confidently, and let me know how you plan on going out there confidently and encouraged in selling your products and generating consistent regular revenue after this training. So who is this training for anyway? This is for you if you struggle with feeling guilty for charging money for what you make. If you have people asking you what it costs for one of your products and you struggle to tell them the price you set in your mind, or you struggle to tell them a price that actually covers all your costs, if you even know what they are, because you do it because you love it or to fill your free time, or you just want to help people. And so you can't get past that feeling of I shouldn't be charging money for this. This course is for you if you want a simple, actionable system for creating consistent income. We are not here for complicated systems. I am not here for 37 spreadsheets and 12 different management programs, 4 different planners. I love my planners. I write in them all the time, but you don't need them for this program. This is for people who want something that is easy to understand, easy to implement, and doesn't take a whole lot of brain power. This is also for you if you have no idea how to plan what to make. It's one thing to make the things you love and create things, but it's another thing to actually plan it out and know what's going to sell when. So this is for you if you have no idea how to go from just making and hoping that what you make sells, and creating a plan and a process for making sure you have the right things on hand at the right time. There we go. This is also for you if you want to feel less stressed about paying your household bills. This whole program is designed to help you start creating revenue in sales that allow you to take some of the financial burden on in your family, so you're not staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning stressing about how unexpected expenses are going to get paid, or clothes are going to get bought because your kid just grew 2 sizes overnight. So before we get started, I want to let you all know that if you make it all the way through the end of this program and take me up on this offer, you can get my inventory planner that I created to grow my sewing business to consistent 4-figure months. This was designed specifically to help me identify what I needed to make when and how much to have on hand. And it's going to be an exclusive bonus for people who take action at the end of this training. So are you in? Drop a yes or a no in the comment box and let me know. I would love to hear that you are along for this, and I cannot wait to dive into this training that will help you spend less time making things that don't sell, spend more time with your family, and still make more money. Does that sound amazing? I think so. Let's get started. So I have a quick little challenge for you. I don't know about you all, but I love the Great British Bake Off, the old school one with Mary Berry, because she's amazing. I watch it all the time. It's my happy place. But let's say Paul Hollywood walked in and was like, hey, I want to have a competition. The first maker to double your sales this month is going to win $10,000. Are you in? Does that sound super exciting? Like, would you love to win $10,000 from Paul Hollywood? All you have to do is double your sales this month. Well, as you go into this, are you going to be like Jackie, the hobbyist? She feels uncomfortable answering when people ask how much her products are. She doesn't know how to give an answer because she always feels like they're not as good. They're not worth these higher dollars. She wants to contribute to her household bills, but she already isn't earning much. She has no idea how she's going to double this because she hates the idea of selling to people. It feels gross to her. It feels oppressive. And she makes all kinds of items, but she doesn't actually know how to plan for future sales. So how is she going to double her sales when she doesn't even know what's going to sell next week? And in addition, Jackie's already up all night stressed out about household bills and about pay cuts that are coming due to COVID. And so when she hears that all she has to do is double her monthly sales to get that $10,000, she immediately hits panic mode and stress because she doesn't know how she's going to do that. She's already struggling just to get the sales she has. Or are you going to be like Marie, the breadwinner? Like the little play on words there. Marie has a steady stream of sales all year round. And because of this, she already knows what she needs to make, when, and how many. And so because of this, as she walks into this challenge, knowing that she has to double her sales, she's ready to go. She knows exactly how to market it to bring those additional customers in. She confidently tells the people her prices because she knows her products are worth it and that they're going to buy them at that price. She hires part-time help for the very first time to help her double those monthly sales. And through doing this, contributes to her household bills and pays for fun family outings. In addition, being able to double her monthly sales is now allowing her to donate to local charities and events on a regular basis. Marie is so thrilled and fulfilled because she knows exactly what to do to reach these goals. And as part of it, she is now giving back to those that she cares about. So as you go into this challenge, who do you want to be? Do you want to be a Jackie who's already stressed and staying up all night and has no idea how she would do this to earn that $10,000? Or do you want to be Marie, who has a plan, is ready to execute, and knows she can reach that goal to win that money? I don't know about you, but I want to be Marie. So who am I anyway? Hello, it's great to meet you. My name is Stephanie DeSonier. That's my little daughter, Grace, in the picture there. And I am a micro business owner. I had a sewing business for about a decade, creating project bags for knitters and crocheters. And through all of that and my work with other small businesses, I have decided to take that information, everything I've learned, and package it up for you so that it doesn't take you a decade to figure out the process I followed. When I was working in my business, I was making the things because I loved them, but it was hard for me to bring myself to charge more than a few dollars for them. I had no idea how to price my skills. I felt inferior to the people who had been doing this for years and felt I couldn't ask for the same amount of money they did. And so I really held myself back on building any sort of actual earnings into this business that would allow me to pay myself. But I wanted to earn enough to quit my job. I was a geologist doing a lot of traveling, and as we started having kids, that just wasn't appealing anymore. But I needed something to replace that income. I was bringing a huge load of student debt into my marriage, and it wasn't fair to my husband for him to have to pay all that. So I wanted to create something where I could still feel like I was contributing financially, but I could walk away from a job that was going to take me away from my family. And the ability to donate to causes that I felt passionately about is important to me. We have an income and we're paying our bills, but I wanted to be able to give $100 or $200 or $1,000 to the local food bank or other missions that I really believed in and thought could help others. But we didn't have the flexibility in that with our normal jobs. And finally, I wanted to look forward to work every day. Working as a geologist sounds fun, but it's a lot of office work and desk work, and it just wasn't thrilling. It wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't motivating me. And so I really wanted to find something that allowed that. Next slide. There we go. And so as I built this business, it was a picture of two different Stephanies. I looked like I was living the life selling at events. A single event would easily bring in $2,000, $3,000, but I was still struggling with the bills because I didn't know how to price my products. I was not making as many sales as I could have because I had no idea which of my items were actually going to be the top sellers at these things. And I didn't understand my business expense structure or my cost structure. And so none of that money was actually making it into my family's bank account. I was spending so much time and energy on something that in the end wasn't actually earning me or my family any money. So I started reading because that's what I do. I'm a researcher, and I would test it, and I would look at these theories, and then I would read again and I would test some more. And from this, the consistent income method was born. Through this method, I have been able to work with other business owners, coaching them on how to create and build a sustainable business for the products they make. Most of them stay-at-home moms or moms who are looking to exit the full-time workforce so they have more flexibility. It has allowed my husband and I to build a lifestyle that allows us to travel with our 3 kids who are pictured there. And most importantly, while it wasn't the only source of income for this, building this business contributed to our ability to pay off over $80,000 in student loans in just 29 months. Something that wouldn't have been possible if we hadn't taken the time to figure out how to manage our finances, but also increase our income through my business that I already had. Here we go. And the best part about it was I was able to spend less time creating and more time selling confidently. And I started paying myself for the first time in 5 years of owning my business. That's right, a 10-year business, and it took me halfway before I was even paying myself from it, which is not what I want for any of you. Now, I get it. Most of us were creatives, we're makers, we have this business, but for some of us, we might also have a full-time job or even a part-time job outside of the home that has demands on us. Or we have kids running around, especially in a post-COVID world where a lot of us are still virtual schooling or homeschooling, or the public schools shut down for 2 weeks. There's a lot of distractions going on right now. Or maybe we're just stressed and overwhelmed, whether it's our finances or trying to figure out the next steps for our business, or we just want someone to tell us what to do in this because we're at a loss and we have information overload. I have good news for you. This method that I'm going to tell you does not require a lot of time. I am a mom of 2 small children who are currently homeschooling. I was working full-time while growing my business. I didn't have hours upon hours every week to work on this. I needed something that I could develop and implement quickly that would start increasing my sales and increasing my income. In fact, I implemented all of this in October and had my best holiday sales ever in November and December. And then it carried on into the following January, which is usually a dead season for a lot of fall-based product businesses. So this is a method I have actually followed myself and implemented for a number of years and has created huge gains in sales and revenue. But what happened before I made it to that point? Why was I struggling so much in my business? I was making 3 big mistakes that were keeping me stuck. Mistake number 1, and this is the mistake I see from so many women, is pricing based on what everyone else is doing and not on the value of what I was doing. You know, we believe that to make any sales when we're new to an industry or market, we have to price the same as or less than our competitors. And because we've always been taught to look for the best value for our dollar, we assume that by doing this, we're going to bring more customers to us instead of them. But the fact is, if you look at human behavior, we don't actually look for the lowest dollar figure. We look for the best value for our dollar, which means the highest quality, the highest deliverables for what we're going to spend. But we get stuck in this mindset that value means cheap. And so as makers, we try to underprice everyone else when we first come onto the market. And by doing that, we don't take anything into account except how much another business values what they do. You're literally letting someone else dictate your value because you say, this established business sells it for 30. I'm brand new. I don't think people are going to pay me that much. I'm not confident in it. I'm only going to charge 20. And that doesn't take anything into account about your knowledge, your skills, your expertise, your unique value, whether or not people enjoy engaging with you. You're dictating your value not only based on someone else, but you're telling yourself that you are less valuable. Your products are less valuable than theirs. And there's no basis for that. The process we all start in, at least for me and many of the women I've worked with, is you have this idea of something you want to make and you're super excited about it. I mean, how many of you have got a Cricut or a Silhouette machine and you bought some vinyl and you started making cups or t-shirts or stickers or whatever? And so you make things and your family thinks it's just the coolest thing ever. Your friends think it's awesome. They start asking you to make some for them. And, you know, maybe it's someone else or maybe it's you and you sit there and go, you know, maybe I could earn some money doing this. Maybe I could actually turn this into like just a little business, you know, for some fun money. But then the imposter syndrome sets in. All of a sudden, it goes from just creating gifts for people to taking money from people. And you start to feel guilty about that because you don't know what you're doing. I mean, you got this machine and you've played around and you've learned it, but you didn't go to school for this. You didn't go to school to run a business or be a designer or be an artist or whatever. And so how dare you ask for money for this? Or, you know, maybe it's you're young, or you're a woman in a male dominated field, or you're a guy in a female dominated field. You feel like an imposter, like you shouldn't be allowed to ask for the money for these products that they're really worth. And so that holds you back. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a drink real quick. And because of this, even if you know your products are high quality, you can't bring yourself to charge a higher price. People tell you that your things look like they're store-bought, and you still charge a third of what they are probably worth because you feel guilty asking for more. But if you keep selling your products at the same price as competition or lower, what is going to happen? Lower prices do not mean you will sell more. All it's going to do is keep your industry locked into a single pricing structure without recognizing changes of costs, marketing, value, demand, customers' perception. And so without taking all this into account, you're locking yourself into this essentially alternate reality. These lower prices do not mean you will sell more, but they will create for a frustrating environment while you're trying to build a business. Mistake number 2, and I hear this one all the time, is I create amazing things. I don't know how much to make. I have no idea what's going to sell. People show up on my website and they buy different things all the time. I was there. You know, I had fun sewing things, but I didn't actually know what my customers wanted. I didn't know what they were going to ask for. I just sewed things that I thought were fun and enjoyable or looked cute or whatever challenged me that day. We get into the business of handmade because we like making it, right? We don't start this because we go, well, I really hate making things, but I need something to do on Friday night, so might as well start making some soap or some lotions, right? But that's not how we work. We start because we love making these things, and as we create them, we want to share them with other people. But in this process, we don't actually know how to predict when and what others will buy. As much as we like to think it, our customers aren't exactly like us, right? They're not going to have the exact same tastes and buying habits and interests as us. Some of them may, but we need to be able to identify what is actually going to drive our customers to purchase. And so without understanding that, you start creating without a plan. You pick something that you think is challenging or interesting or that you can do quickly or is simple or whatever, and you start making. And then all of a sudden there's a huge demand. I had this once with a product where I created a brand new bag and just started knocking a couple of them out, and there was a massive demand and I wasn't ready for it at all. I did not have any sort of system in place to deal with this. And so then what happens? Your customers are either stuck waiting because they want what you have, but now they're waiting 2, 3, 4 months to actually get it. Or worse, they find a competitor who has a similar product and they go buy it from them because they don't want to wait around to have that need met. And if you don't have that product ready for them to purchase, if they aren't comfortable waiting, they will go somewhere else. So now we've just lost out on sales because our product was in such a high demand. Like, how paradoxical does that sound, right? But we are creatures of instant gratification. Thank you, Amazon. And if we're not able to get the product as soon as we're aware of it and decide we want it, if, you know, most of us aren't happy waiting around for a long time, we will move on to somewhere else. And when I had this with my bags, all of a sudden I had to be creating nonstop. I was stressed. I wasn't sleeping. My husband was up till 3 in the morning helping me finish our bags one night. And I still had people waiting. There were still customers asking where their things were. And that is exhausting. And that doesn't give you time for your family. That doesn't build a life that you want. This doesn't free you up, make you more money, and give you more freedom. It does the exact opposite, right? Conversely, on the other side of this, you start making things right away without a plan, like before, but now nobody wants it. And you've got this stack of inventory that you cannot offload. Like the picture shows here, you are clearancing those suckers out and people are still not buying them because you didn't do, maybe you didn't do market research beforehand. I've done this before where I've seen other makers sell products, so I assume they're a good product to make. I start making one. Turns out nobody buys them. And now all of a sudden I've got them here and no one wants them. I basically can't give them away, but because I didn't have a plan in place beforehand, I didn't know about that. So now I'm stuck with a ton of stuff, a ton of inventory that no one wants, that's taking up space and has lost me money in raw goods. But so where does this leave us? If you don't have a plan, you're either making too much or you're not making enough. Either way, you're losing customers, you're losing sales, you're losing money. And so now what do? You want to go from this chaos, this stress of no plan and just winging it and hoping the sales come in and you're actually going to make money doing this and sell the products you've made, to someone who has it perfectly mapped out. If you're really particular like my husband, you have it color coded on a nice little poster board, carrying home wads of cash. And doing this doesn't need to require a PhD in mathematics or a master's degree in physics. Developing a plan for what to make and how much can actually be done in a single afternoon. Believe it or not, you already have all that information in your business to help you figure this out. And it's a really simple process. And it just takes a little bit of sitting down and putting it all out in front of you and figuring out what it's telling you. The third mistake is thinking that making money involves being salesy. The word selling seems to conjure up images of this guy, or worse, those moms that we all know who have joined a weight loss company or a shake company or nails or whatever, who are constantly trying to sell to you. You actually are terrified to go to mom meetups or the playground because you're pretty sure someone's going to try and sell you something while you're there, right? That's the kind of image that I used to get when I would think of selling. Or worse, maybe the thought of talking to people at all has you hiding. When I first started doing vendor events, the idea that I was going to be talking to customers for 10 hours straight, 2 days in a row, was exhausting and terrifying. How was I going to do that? How was I going to sell my products when I was not comfortable engaging in a conversation with a potential customer? The thing is, you don't have to be constantly raving about your items. You don't have to be harassing the people around you. You don't have to be sliding into their private messages constantly to let them know what you have. Selling doesn't mean salesy. And that's what the biggest misconception is. Selling is making your customers aware that you have a product that answers a need of theirs. And you don't have to be on social media 24/7 to do this. And quite frankly, that may actually be hurting you. You're told that in order to sell, you have to be hustling all the time. But the hustle hurts you in the long run. It is exhausting. It is tiring. Most people, when they're doing this, they're putting up a facade. It's a person they aren't really, that's not really them. And so being someone else online just to sell your products wears you down physically and mentally. And if you're constantly in front of your computer trying to sell, you're not focusing on the things that are important, and you're still stressed about bills at the end of the day. Plus, let's be honest, you're also probably hurting some friendships if you are constantly messaging people, inviting them to your newest kitchenware party and asking them to buy so you can get some hostess gifts, right? If you keep doing it this way, that's a recipe for constantly making and creating products or content with no sales, never knowing if you actually have enough or too much of something, feeling gross and overwhelmed and stressed about how you're going to sell without offending people, and still broke. And that's not what we want. So there are 3 different ways to change this. You could be a hobbyist Hannah who has no idea if she's making money or how to grow. She's taking the slow path. She'll figure it out. She's going to read all the free articles, watch all the free videos, and in about 5 or 6 years, she'll get it figured out. That was me, by the way, right here. You could be a production factory, constantly making things, but never the right things. But if you just hustle hard enough, eventually you'll get them sold. But it's tiring and it takes a lot longer than it should. Or you could be a confident creator who is able to apply the consistent income methods to sell with ease and always have the right things at the right time. So who do you want to be? I'm going to vote for the confident creator. I'm going to go hang out with that cheetah down there. Who do you want to be as you move your business forward? Do you want to take it nice and slow and hope that in about 5 years, you're going to start making money, paying yourself, and putting money into your bank account? Or do you want to accelerate this process and start earning that money now so that you can sleep at night knowing that your bills are paid, there's money in the bank, and you can go for Starbucks tomorrow? So who believes they can create consistent income and create products they love? I would love to see you type yes or no into the question and answer section there in the webinar chat. And so I talked about the consistent income method at the beginning of this, but now let's actually work through what that means. The consistent income method is a 3-step process on allowing creatives to sell what they make without feeling stressed, overwhelmed, and helping them go out there and put their work into the world, knowing exactly what their customers are looking for. To do this, we actually build a strong foundation first through breaking through the guilt that we talked about over in mistake 1. You can't build a business if you don't understand what's holding you back in terms of pricing, money mindset, how you talk to your customers, the language you're using. We need to understand what that guilt is. Once we can understand and move through that, then we actually start planning for growth. We are now confident that we have something that solves a problem for someone. Now, how do we develop a strategic plan to grow and grow in a pace that fits you? And then finally, now that we have a plan, let's go out and sell, but let's sell without being sleazy, right? We don't want to be that gross used car salesman. So first, how do we break through this guilt? We do it by identifying your value. It's easy to start out feeling guilty asking for money since we are so new to this, right? We've covered this. It's an imposter syndrome. You feel like you don't deserve to ask for those funds. And when we first start out, it's also so easy to compare ourselves to everyone else making the same thing. We never stop to think about the value in what we do. How many people out there are potters who make coffee mugs right now? But I don't think a single one of them actually prices it exactly the same as someone else, because while they all make coffee mugs, they all are unique. They all have a different value. And you keep that in mind, and that allows you to price things in a manner that fits your customers' needs and your business's needs, rather than pricing things so that we look exactly like our competitor and hope that our sales look like theirs too, right? That never works. Or we charge less than others to gain customers and build our business. But then all you're doing is attracting bargain shoppers, and you don't want bargain shoppers as you start to build your business, unless you have a bargain business. You want people who are buying because they love you, they love your products, they see the value in what you're doing, and not because they're just looking for the cheapest deal out there. And so by doing this, you end up working all the time with no profit to show for it, because through doing this, you're making decisions based on emotion rather than data. You're making decisions based on how you feel asking for money, rather than looking at what your products are worth, what your customers need, and what needs to happen to make sure that all your expenses are paid. And you are worth more. And actually, you are worth so much more than any of this. The value of you is not related to the value of your products. Don't be afraid to state your price for your products and recognize the true value of what you are offering. I am going to add to this. You are worth so much more than any of this. What you are worth is not tied to the price tag on your products. And that's another thing we talk through. And another way to break through this guilt is thinking about what problem do you solve? What is your product doing for people? And how do your customers value that, right? Our pricing isn't driven by what we think our product is worth. Our pricing is driven based on how customers value what we do. And once we tap in to the valuation that our customers give and the desire they have for our products, we can become much more comfortable communicating that value, which makes it easier to sell. And so spend some time trying to identify what need your customers are trying to fill when they come to you to purchase your products or your services. And finally, breaking the guilt helps you understand what's causing you to feel guilty for asking for what your products are worth. There's a lot of baggage that goes into this, and we spend a lot of time really doing a deep dive on getting into our mindsets and recognizing our personal baggage that comes into play. And your mindset about money will actively create your financial reality, right? If you think that it is just impossible for you to ever find a way to make money, it's never going to happen. Chances are you're not going to take steps to create that financial reality of making money because you already think it's a lost cause. And so working on your mindset about money and recognizing that money is not evil, profits are not a dirty word, but earning money is possible. If you take the right actions, then you will drastically shift your perspective on your business. In fact, as I was working with Jared, who's a manager at Avenue Coffee, he was able to take the coffee shop that he was managing, and through working with me and the program I was running at the time, they actually had a profit for the first time ever. They had to pay income taxes as a business for the first time in the 11 years that they had been operating. But better than that, Jared became a confident business person. He went from being so stressed out about the smallest things that came with running a business to being excited when he approached me about rebranding, about price changes, about adding an entire operation to their coffee shop, buying a roaster, doing wholesale, all because we worked through the mindset and the guilt that was behind his decision making prior to that. And Gail Miller of Gail's Kombucha was a wonderful business to work with. She already had a great mindset on selling, but her mindset on pricing was a challenge because she believed so deeply that her products would help people feel better that she couldn't bring herself to charge money for them. She was essentially giving it away. But working through this, she recognized that if she wants to continue helping people, she has to charge for it, because if she's not making money, she's not going to continue being there for those customers in the future. Secondly, you need to start planning for growth. Once we've got through all that mindset stuff, we are ready to go. We are now all set to have a plan. So where do we start? There are 3 steps to achieving growth that we need to keep in mind. The first is setting our targets. The second is project planning. That was a fun font switch I had going on there out of nowhere. And the third is inventory management. Now, how do these all play together? These steps help you develop an actionable plan for creating exactly what you need and when. One of my favorite quotes from Benjamin Franklin is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you don't have a plan in place, what are you aiming for? Where are you going? Do you have any guidance or trajectory? You may get to where you want to go, but it might take you a lot longer. And the scenery might be okay, but it might be a lot more beautiful on the fast route. So setting targets allows you to see where you want your business to grow and where you need to focus. We talk through, you want to set different types of targets in your business. Financial targets. What kind of revenue do you want to bring in? Engagement targets. Do you want to build a customer list? How many do you want to have? Event targets. How often do you want to appear out in front of general population? Or maybe the targets are improving your systems or reducing your work hours. Thinking through all of these helps you start to identify what you're working towards in your business. Once we set a target, we start to work backwards to identify the necessary steps to accomplish it. And this is where the project planning comes in. This is for any type of business, product or service base. If you, for instance, know that you are a copywriter, you write web pages, design web pages for people. If you know you only want to be working 10 hours a week, okay, now you need to identify how you can keep your revenue up while only working 10 hours a week. And you work backwards to figure out how to do that. Does that involve streamlining how you write things? Does that involve bringing on some additional help for basic things or raising prices? But doing this strategically, developing a plan to help you reach that point prevents a last minute panic. If you are getting to the night before an event and all your products aren't made because you started them 2 weeks ahead of time when you really should have started on the 6th, or maybe a frustration at lack of progress because by the end of the year, you're still working 30-hour weeks and you wanted to be at 10 hours, but you didn't actually do anything that would accelerate that along. And with product-based businesses, the third one is inventory management. And the worst thing a business can do is run out of a high demand item. Here, this is where we focus on taking our project plan and translating that into what we need to sell and where. This allows you to make sure you have the right items on hand at the right time. Marketing and sales drive the business. I'm not going to argue that, but even the best marketing cannot make up for a lack of plan. And my manufacturing husband will agree. Marketing has its place, but if you don't have a production plan behind that, it's not going to do you any good. So talking about marketing, finally, we get into the selling without sleeves. And, why do we seem to feel so gross at the word sell, right? We discussed this a little bit, but it seems as if everyone is trying to sell us something. Weight loss coffee, tote bags, makeup. It's almost like we've lost a genuine connection with the people around us because everyone is hustling and selling something. And what if we just want to have a real connection with a real friend to sit down and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea with them? You almost get nervous answering an invitation to catch up over a cup of coffee because you start to wonder if someone's going to sell you something. It's not a fun feeling, right? We try to avoid that. So as makers, because we tend to be a little more empathetic, and a lot of times when we're creating things, it's to bring joy to people or improve their health. We go in the opposite direction. We don't want to impose on people. We don't want to offend people. And so we never put ourselves out there at all. And in fact, you can worry so much about making people uncomfortable that I bet a good amount of them don't even know you have a business because you're so scared to promote it. People buy from brands they know, like, and trust. I'm not going to buy from a brand I've never heard of. I'm going to ask for referrals from friends, or it's going to be a brand I've followed and engaged with for a while. You buy from people who have either shown you through customer reviews that their products are quality, your friends have told you their products are quality, or you've seen it through your experience. And so imagine that you had a plan for making potential customers aware of you, creating positive engagement with those customers, and setting yourself up as their go-to person for that need. Like, how awesome would that be? No matter what, as soon as your customer needed something, they go, that's my gal right there. I'm going to go to her. They don't even look at anyone else anymore. We don't sell by broadcasting through a microphone. And we're going to pretend I don't have a microphone right here that I'm currently broadcasting through. But we sell by taking time to build relationships, by investing in people, by actually hearing their needs and connecting with them and understanding what they're looking for, and not forcing a solution onto them that they don't actually need. So if you take away one thing from all of this, I want you to know that you can confidently share your products and create a consistent revenue. The big question now is, how do you apply this framework into your own business and start selling confidently and consistently? You could continue to be like Jackie, creating with no plan, no confidence, and no money. Or you could be like Marie, confidently telling people what her products cost, constantly hitting her sales goal, and spending more time with her family. So it's time for you to stop hoping for sales to just happen and to start creating revenue. I want you to be like Marie, who knows exactly what she wants and goes and gets it. It's time to follow a framework that takes the guesswork out of the consistent income. And so enrollment is now open for my Confident Creators course. This course is designed on the consistent income method that we just covered and walks you through in-depth modules covering each of these topics. We work through breaking through the guilt, understanding where it comes from, our messaging, our money mindset, planning for growth by setting targets, determining where to sell and what to sell, inventory and production planning, and bringing on help when necessary, and selling without the sleaze, understanding our customers and how to build relationships with them, recognizing what the customer journey is and what it means for you as a business, and how to identify if your business is making the sales it needs to be. So I want to give you a bird's eye view of what you will get immediate access to when you join Confident Creators. You will get access to the consistent income method, like I just said, immediate access to every video, every training, the full workbook, and any of our pre-recorded question and answer sessions with my previous cohorts. You will also get monthly question and answer sessions, like I just mentioned, where I will hop on and speak with you directly to address any questions you have about the materials, how to implement them, struggles you're facing in your business, whatever you need to know to get you going. And finally, some fast action bonuses, because everybody loves a bonus. And I have to burp. Excuse me. So when you join, you get immediate access to the consistent income method, stopping the guilt, the proven method that ends guilt, identifies your unique value, recognizes what your customers want, and then creates a message that resonates with them. This is valued at over $700. You will also get a breakthrough session. This is a bonus that's only good for the next few days. You will not be doing this alone. You will receive a one-on-one session with me where you and I will sit down and discuss your business and how to grow it in a way that works for you. And this is valued at over $500. This is not just a quick little chit chat where I might give you some ideas. We sit down and we actually map out a plan for you that you can begin implementing right away. The second bonus is the group coaching. We have review calls where you can ask questions, but even better, you can engage with other students who might have insights that you wouldn't have thought of. And so you're able to bounce ideas off of other business owners who are in different industries who will have a unique perspective on whatever challenges you're facing. And remember the free bonus for fast action takers. If you register today, you will get my inventory planner, which ensures you will never run out of product unexpectedly again. This is valued at over $200 and helps you identify what to make, when to start, and how much without having to guess. All of this is valued at over $2,100. But if you register for Confident Creators, you will get it for just $297. This is a great value, 15 lessons and tons of content, plus a supportive community and group encouraging you along the way. And even better, you have two payment options. If you make the one-time payment with $297, you will get access to all of the modules, the project planning, the inventory management, monthly live calls, priority access to future materials, my bonus inventory planner. But if you pay in full today, you will also get my email automation mini training on ways to take some of the work off your plate, but continue to build customer relationships through automatic email flows. Or you can choose the payment plan. This is 4 monthly payments of $77. You get all the same content. You don't get the bonus email automation, but you still get everything that I already listed above that is going to help you take your business and really build some sustainable growth for you. Honestly, the question isn't whether you will make your money back. It's how many times you'll be able to do that. And I don't say this lightly. I firmly believe in this system, having implemented myself for a number of years. that $77 you can actually earn back before your next $77 payment is due by following this system. And if you paid $77 today, how many sales would it take to make that back? We can help you reach those sales so that you are generating that revenue from the get-go. And again, Jared, a great student. Just a few short months of working with him, he felt confident being a reasoning business person, where once he thought that something was wrong with him because he couldn't grasp certain concepts of the business world. I don't expect you to have an MBA. I don't expect you to come at this from a business background, but I want to support you in running this so you can go out there and understand your business and know how to run it in a way that fits you. So if you're interested in checking this out, you can go to businessbydesign.com right there at the bottom. Make sure it's design with a Z. And if you're still not certain, if you do all the work and submit the proof that you've done the work and you do not get results, we have 100% money back guarantee. If after 30 days of implementing all this, you are not seeing any progress, you will get your money back, because I firmly believe that this method will help you move forward so much faster than you would have otherwise. Oops, missed the slide. So again, you can get all of this for $77 for your first payment. The monthly Q&A calls, a breakout session, community support. We have a private Facebook community group. You get direct access to me through email, the Facebook group, and messaging in our course, along with the consistent income method system. So I hope to see you inside the course. I would love to take any questions now. We've got about